What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 8 of the Connected Sound podcast. This is DJ Rello. I got my guy, my co-host, Tay Joseph with me here to my left and to my right. I have a good friend of mine, a worker. This is JC Homsher of Jokes on Us brand. How you doing today, my guy?
Man, I'm feeling blessed. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes,
Finally made it out to Chambersburg, Connected Sound Studios. You already know what it is. It's Jokes on Connected Sound today, so let's get it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Glad to have you. How you doing today, Tay?
Man, I'm feeling real spectacular today. Honestly, I can't complain. I drunk my coffee today. I wasn't late today. Or was I late? I wasn't late.
No, you were definitely late. Yes.
So I'm feeling
Listen. Me and him had a whole podcast before the podcast,
Yeah,
honestly. We definitely did. We talked for about an hour waiting on Tay.
Yeah.
About everything basically we could talk about right now in the podcast. Before we even start, I wanted to say how me and you met. I'm not sure. I think Tay probably met you around the same time as well. And that was just in Harrisburg at a couple BLV events. I met you. I bought some clothes off of you.
It was the Doja market, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
I was telling him yesterday that I met him at the Doja market because of you.
Yeah, not because of me, because of BLV. I didn't throw the event.
I think we actually, so me and you met at the rooftop party.
Yes, that was
the Project 1500.
1500 by Marpo. Yeah. That's where we met. That was a very hot day, but that was a vibe on the rooftop.
The hottest day. And I remember I seen you bringing in.
He was there too. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. This dude Tay is very, very, very forgetful. But that was a great day. I feel like that day alone, started off like a great wave in the Harrisburg area, just as far as like events and just getting people together on like a positive note that people were like all on the same accord. I felt like that Project 1500 did that.
Yeah, I would say that for sure. I mean, it just brought the life back to the city, I think, a little bit, kind of set the standard, you know. That was a great event.
Yeah, Tay, how you feel about that?
Oh man, that event was so dope, man. It was so many. I probably bought like 2 pairs of shoes the one day. The one on it was downtown at the Caf. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I probably bought like 2 pairs of shoes when I went down there. You know, I always come through and support when I go there. Yeah. That's how the one day I remember I seen them yesterday at VLV and I said, "Yo, you don't remember me from the Doja market?" Rello introduced me because I remember he was like, "This is my buddy over here. I want to introduce you to him." And then that's when I bought me and you both bought T-shirts from my guy right here.
Yeah, I got one.
I still.
Oh, word?
Yeah, most definitely.
He's always
Jokes
repping.
on us. Let's go.
Hey man. One thing about Rello, man, I'm definitely gonna support you, man. If I'm rocking with you, I'm definitely gonna support you.
And I
sure.
really like your brand because like it just symbolized jokes and laughter. Cause I got the Joker tatted on my shoulder. I think I told
I
you
just
that.
got the Jokestar tattoo 2 days ago.
Nice.
Yeah, that's my first tat.
Nice.
So.
Hey, that's a great first tat. Yeah. Branding yourself, that's a great first tat.
Yes.
I want to know what the meaning to you. What does Jokes on Us mean to you?
That's a great question. So, Jokes on Us, it means a lot of things. It's a metaphor. So, there's a lot of layers to it, but in all its aspect, Jokes on Us is the name of the clothing brand.
Right.
So, basically it means to kind of like understand that the joke's on us, taking all the perspectives of like being criticized or made fun of and like owning that.
Yes.
And by having that awareness, we're able to take that, like the joke's on us, and channel that energy into positive impact, you know,
for sure.
Sort of like just making it our own, you know, making it's our jokes, you know.
Yeah, most definitely. I definitely, that's before I even knew what the meaning was. I kind of like, I got it just from meeting you and speaking with you at just numerous events with you selling clothes. I kind of got it, and just from following you on social media, I definitely got it, and I'm definitely
got the jokes.
Yeah, exactly. If
jokes.
you understand, you understand. If not, you should probably try to get to understand, or you eventually will. I mean, Tay understands. He's always on jokes. He gets the just behind it.
So Tay's a jokestar, I would say. You know, so a jokestar has a definition, and it means it's an individual who, despite being criticized or made fun of, sticks to their goals and eventually shines. Yeah. We all jokestars, you know what I'm saying? I'm not the only jokestar. That's just the brand name. So I really want people to like understand that and own it. You know,
turning it in, you know what I mean? Turning that negative into a positive. Now we kind of in that point where people just love to talk down on someone, or they just love to be a troll and you know what I mean, be internet bullies and things like that. And it's just dope that you're trying to spread awareness. Like that type of stuff does happen, but it's like you can also like get through it and use it as like fuel and motivation and use it for like a positive gain. You know,
and it's also, I think, jokes in itself, like I said, it's a metaphor. And I think even like comedians, you know, they have that level of awareness where they're able to like communicate the truth through a joke.
Right.
Okay.
And jokes are some of the best ways to start a conversation. So I say my brand is a conversation starter.
Definitely
where if you're wearing it, they're gonna be like, oh, what's that? And then they're gonna think it's jokes, right?
Yeah.
But then it's actually a deeper mission. It's a meaning behind it. You get into that conversation right there.
For sure.
That's dope.
Of course.
Very
dope. I want to know, like, when me and Tay, we wear a lot of people's clothes that are, you know, up and coming guys that are working that might currently not be where they want to be, but are trying to get their startups, things like that. I want to know, when did you start creating like clothes? Because you don't just make clothes. You don't just have somebody print your clothes out for you. You are actually making these yourself. When did you start doing things like that?
Yeah, so I would say about like 10th grade is when I kind of got into like more fashion, like less buying brands, and kind of like I got into thrifting really heavy, you know? So I would go and find like some cool thrifting stuff. And then what really inspired me to just start like customizing clothes in general was rap concerts. I would start making my own merch for the shows. Like I had this one jacket where I bleached it and put like XO on the back for a weekend concert, and I cut the sleeves off, and that was like my first custom piece of clothes. So I was like, oh, this is dope. And then, like, you know, fast forward, I was like kind of like finding my style really. And then I actually met this one dude at this art show, and his name's Uncool Chuck, and he's like one of my biggest inspirations as far as just being able to like take an idea and put it on clothing, right? I seen him paint on clothes, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. You can do that. Yeah. So once I seen that, I was like, all right, I can actually like just do this a little bit more, you know? And it inspired me to do that. So the clothing brand officially started, like I said, all right, I'm gonna do a clothing brand. It was April 1st, April Fool's Day, jokes on us, 2019, I wanna say. Yeah, 2019. Okay. So that's when I was like, let's do it. Launched like my first collection, and it's kind of been doing it like that since.
Yeah, I love the fact that you create your own clothes, man. I definitely do. Tay, have you ever made your own clothes in any form or fashion?
Man, I actually did. I tried to back in McCaskey. I tried to customize Air Force Ones and hoodies and stuff like that. Here.
For yourself or other people?
Actually, I used to I customized a fit for Swerve.
Okay.
Who is golden? Shout out Who is golden. And he put it in the music video, so I was kind of hype about that.
That's hard, man. It's funny you say that. When I was in high school, I never was like a big like fashion guy as far as like I wanted to dabble in it, like making my own clothes. But I had a pretty good printer back then, and my mom would always take me to arts and craft places, and I found this stuff called like Mod Podge. And what I would do was I would print out a picture that was like iron on.
Okay.
And I would iron it on, but I found out that like it really wasn't that like it wasn't that sturdy.
Right. Because it would wash right off.
It would wash off. But with this Mod Podge stuff, it was just like a clear, like tacky type substance.
Yep.
It would give it like a shine, almost like it came from like Hot Topic or a shop or something like that. And I used to make like, shout out to Jordan brand, but I used to make like Jordan shirts, and because I didn't have the money. Like it was either like I bought the expensive shoes and I had the cheap clothes. I chose the shoes, and I just had to make away with the clothes. And I used to just buy 4 for $20 T-shirts at Foot Locker and go home and use all my mom's ink.
Yep.
and print out a Jordan shirt. You know what I mean? At the store was $80. I couldn't afford it.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, I still was going to school with that Jordan shirt. It just wasn't a legit one, but I still had it. You know what I mean?
But you took pride in making it yourself too, right?
Yeah, most definitely. I had all my cousins wearing them. I had people in school that wanted to buy them, and it was just like, this is just something that I enjoyed doing at the crib. And I'm like,
that's it.
People want that to happen. Like,
it's funny you mentioned like you didn't have the money for it, because that's kind of how it all started. That's how I even got into thrifting, right? Yeah. Because around like I would say like 10th grade, 11th grade, a lot of my friends, they was into like Jordans and stuff. That was a cool thing, like sneakerhead. Yeah, sneakerhead. That's when like the cool grades dropped, the foam posits, all that stuff.
Needed them.
And I was 16 and I had a car at the time, so I had my first car. So all my money was going to a car, so I couldn't buy all the new Jordans and stuff. Yeah. So I figured out I could go to the thrift and get some really cool clothes, bag up like 5 hoodies, 10 shirts, 2 pairs of pants for $50. Yeah. Put a couple fits together, and I'm cool. I still had a dope fit for cheap, and I got a car. You know what I'm saying? My shoes wasn't whatever, and I was a dancer or whatever, so I used to beat up my shoes. So I didn't really care about shoes. I just always liked it, But that's how I got into like thrifting and all that.
Yeah,
so.
For sure. Where do you think that you sell most of your clothes? Like I said, I met you at a few boutiques and a couple events where you sold your clothes, but I also seen, your clothes online. Mm-hmm. Where do you think you personally sell the most clothes? You think you have better luck online or in person?
That's a good question. I think for a while, when I started doing my collections, it was most of it was online and stuff, and I was just like kind of like making up mock-ups and getting samples, taking pictures, posted to Instagram, and taking pre-orders through that way, right? Yeah. And that's how I was getting the buzz. But I started doing some more of the markets, and I think the markets are like, that's where I've had my most success, just because people could come through, they can meet me, they can really get the understanding of the mission behind Jokes, and then also they get to feel and touch the clothes, because I like to use a lot of like different like vinyls and materials, like puff print vinyls, and just stuff that you actually have to touch it and see in person to make sense. Yeah. So I would definitely say like in-person markets have been my favorite. And then also you just get to connect with people, what I'm saying? Like it's a lot. The internet's good for a tool, but it's like, if I really want to meet somebody and connect with them, you can't really do that through Instagram. So
yeah, definitely. I mean, me and Tay, we both, you are a comedian and you host, so everything you do is pretty much in person, and it's always better to meet people in person. It's just you can leave a better you can implement their lives, like have a bigger part of their lives, like meeting them in person. I know.
Correct.
You know what I mean? We get to go to shows and things like that, so we get to do it on a different level. You're selling your clothes. Me and him are basically selling a product in our service. Yeah. But we have to deal with the same thing. Seeing people in person. I'm just now starting to put myself out there more on the internet. Right. Just because me personally, I like meeting people and talking about booking me as a DJ in person rather than having to hit them up online. So I definitely get where you're coming from with that. I've seen you have a pretty good success rate. I think everybody that I've brought with me to any event that you sold clothes, I think probably left with an item as well. Yeah. So I want to know, what do you think the most is that you sold at one time as far as items of clothing, and as far as how much do you think like that you've brought in at one time at a show, as far as like money that you brought in?
Yeah, and I think that's a great question, because I feel like I'm about to blow like people's minds with this, because it's like you can really, I feel like anybody could do this. Like the barriers to entry is real low. You just have to like really believe in yourself. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's the one thing, my first collection was Jokes on Us, Money Isn't Real. So I always tell people it's not about the money. It's about the mission. So I always like put that first. And for me, it's not about the sale or the money coming in. It's about like, that's another person who got the jokes. That's 100 people who have jokes in their closet. At any day, I want it to be like where every day, 365, somebody's wearing the clothes, just in the world. I don't care where they're at. So that's the goal with all that stuff. But as far as like the most money I ever brought in, I think, it was crazy, because it was like during the summer of the pandemic, right? So, a lot of people were already worried about coming out in public, right? But I was getting good traffic. It was a good event, and I think it was probably like 6 hours, and I made like over like 1,600, off jokes. You know what I'm saying?
Off of jokes and clothing line, ladies and gentlemen.
Can't tell me it can't be done, man. That, you know what I'm saying?
All you gotta do
that's
is
paying bills for the month right there.
Get out there, market yourself, and apply yourself, because you can do anything you put your mind to. For real.
Yeah, it's really just about doing it and staying with it and being focused, man. You know what I'm saying? You do a lot of these pieces by hand. What do you think, like what do you think the longest time you spent on a piece? Because I've seen you even do TikToks of you putting pieces together, and I'm like, damn, I bet you that TikTok took a little bit of time. So I couldn't even imagine how much it took for you to actually do some of these pieces of
then
clothing.
speed it up like that.
Right.
You feel me? Like you had to been there for it.
Honestly, that's why it's kind of hard for me to do the TikTok sometimes, because it takes me a while, right? So it's like I can't even it's hard to set up in the same spot, get the same lighting or something, because honestly, people that's a question I think a lot of artists get, like how long did it take you to create this piece of art? For me, I think it's tough to gauge because I don't time myself, Some days I can lock in for 8 hours straight and bust something out, Other times I'll be working, like the collection I'm working on now for the fall. I've been working on it for 3 years, And there's like specific pieces of clothing like I'll start on and then I'll just sit it down for months and I'll come back to it. Whenever I feel that inspiration. Yeah. So it's hard to answer. There's not an exact time,
Speaking of inspiration, who is your inspiration and influence behind clothing?
Yeah, like I said, my homie Uncle Chuck. There's a lot of local people. Just seeing it in person for the first time was a big inspiration. I'll definitely say Virgil Abloh, rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Yes, sir. Rest in peace.
He really just showed me that, you could just make T-shirts, and that's kind of just the start, but that's the canvas. This is your canvas. You could just go do this stuff. You could record a video and kind of get a wave behind it. Yeah. So definitely Virgil Abloh, Kanye West for sure. Yeah. Just with the whole fashion industry and everything. Those are some of the big ones. Yeah.
Speaking of Kanye, I gotta ask you.
We gotta ask you, champ.
Is Kanye crazy?
Is he crazy?
That's what's crazy.
Psycho.
You know what? The question is, what's crazy? I feel as though they said Jesus was crazy. They say these prophets are crazy. A lot of people can't understand futurists, because they think so far ahead that it's like, we're all here in the now, or we're all living in the past. We don't even understand what you're saying. Yeah. So I think a lot of this stuff gets misinterpreted, and that's part of the mission of jokes. So the mission of jokes is to inspire and instill confidence in those who have been laughed at, misunderstood, and overlooked by the hands of normality through fashion, art, and music. Misunderstood, overlooked, I think that carries a lot with that mission, where it's like you're saying things, but people don't always understand you. Yeah. So that's why we artists, because we even communicate and translate our thoughts into the art. Yeah.
What about you, Tay? What you saying? What you think about Kanye?
I love Kanye just like everybody else, man.
I grew up with the man. So, we just ain't grow up in the same house or the same city, but I grew up with him, you know what I'm saying? Thanks. So it's like I always got respect for him. And it's like even when I don't understand him, I try to figure a way to understand him. And eventually I end up understanding him. So I guess if Kanye's crazy, and I guess DJ Rello, I'm crazy too.
Well, I'm telling you.
You dig what I'm saying, man? I want to get back to the music for a little bit before we get up out of here. Like, you spoke on Jokestar a little bit earlier. I know you got a project coming, Life of a Jokestar, Volume 2. How you feel about that? You think the world is ready for that? You're speaking different than a lot of other artists.
Listen. You gotta listen to the music to get it, first of all. So you can find me on all streaming services. You can just type in Jokestar Music. You'll see it. The Life of Jokestar Volume 1's already out. You can buy it on Bandcamp.
Go get that.
You can buy it on jokesontheworld.com.
Today.
That's my website. But listen, so the music, the Life of Jokestar Volume 2 is coming out April 1st. That's the 3rd anniversary of Jokes on Us. That's the clothing brand, so April 1st, April Fools. But I intentionally try to do something original with the music. I try to just be myself as much as possible. I take inspiration where I can and let that flow through the mission of jokes. And with the music, I think it's just a sonic I think it's like a sonic mission statement almost. It's kind of like channeling that. So I like to incorporate today's sounds mixed with like some more conscious stuff, like a lot of stuff that I'm actually going through, and like I think a lot of people can relate to, just as far as like being an artist, you know. So that's really what I'm excited to put out there. And with this tape, it's just I think it's gonna be a good one for sure.
Yeah, for sure. We were watching some of your videos and listening to your music earlier before we started the podcast, and like I said, you're definitely on a different type of level. You're definitely speaking different than a lot of other artists, and I'm a fan of it because your rapping is not too much gimmicks to your shit, and I can respect that. It's just you rapping what you feeling and rapping what you believe in. And that's what I took. That's what I took from your music. You know what I'm saying? I'm a fan. I want to know. This is something that means a lot to me. I want to ask you this question: if you're going on a long ride, you just had an hour ride to get here. If I say, yo, on this ride to get here to the studio, both of you, they both got to come an hour to get here. I want to ask you both. You got 1 hour. You got one album you can listen to for that hour. What album is it?
1 hour? All right. You got to get Tay first. Let me think about this.
Tay, what is it?
This is a hard one. Drum roll, please. It's like, I really like the 21 Savage album.
First one, which one you like?
I like the newer one, and I like his last album. I think, I forgot what it's called, but
He likes it so much he forgot the name.
I just know multiple songs on it.
Okay, that's how you feeling. Okay, well, one album.
One
I'm a big
album.
21
All right, I'll give you an
Savage fan.
album that. All right, this is my go. This isn't even a car ride. This is a plane ride album. Right.
I'm gonna
So
look
this
it
is
up.
like an album that I'll throw on
Cheating.
every time I'm on a plane.
Yeah.
So it's either Frank Ocean, Blonde.
Oh yeah, Frank Ocean. That's
I could listen to that
Classic.
straight through. Frank Ocean Blonde or Frank Ocean Endless. I feel like a lot of people sleep on the Endless album.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
sure.
saying? So those
Definitely.
are two of the probably two of my favorite albums just to like coast to, ride to, you know what I'm saying? Fly to. Yeah. It's very relaxing. It's very you know, it doesn't ever throw me off. And I like Frank he's like a poet. The way he be putting together words really inspires like how I like.
That's what it's called. Savage Mode 2.
Oh yeah.
21 Savage.
That's what
Yeah, and I am better than I was. 21 Savage. Bam.
That's your hour
my
ride.
go-to album right there.
Damn, that's not bad. I like both of your choices. For me, if I had an hour in the car and I'm gonna listen to somebody,
You listen to Ray J, don't you? I know you. Rello definitely look like the type of guy to listen to.
Listen, man, you better put some respect on Ray J's name, man. Ray J is really out here in these streets, man.
All right, so name 5 songs from Ray J. It got real quiet.
Listen, I can definitely.
It got real quiet.
I can name 5. Sexy Can I? That's one.
Wow, you really?
I wish.
I wish. All right. Didn't hear that.
Wait a
since
minute.
2008. Wait a minute.
That's with Lil Kim.
I never even heard it.
Ray J tracks. One Wish. I said I wish. Did I say? What did I say earlier?
You said
One Wish. One Wish.
3.
One Wish. 5 for Ray J.
Told you.
Oh damn.
He doesn't have enough hits.
I ain't talking about that, man. Ray J got hell of respect in this industry, man. I don't got 5 songs for Ray J. I forget. My fault, Ray J. But Ray J out here, man. He got hell of respect.
He probably wrote more songs than we even know.
Probably,
So,
man.
I
Probably.
guarantee that.
Put some respect on Ray J's name, man. He a goon too, man. He got goons all that. You can't be talking about Ray J like that.
Listen, man. I listen to Neo for real. I listen to
Problem
Neo.
with, what's the problem with listening
Now,
to Neo?
now we need 5 Neo songs.
Yeah, name 'em. Name 5 Neo joints.
I don't know none of the songs unless they come
Come on, yo.
Now
I
you
can
play
name
them
5
joints.
Neos.
I can recite them.
All right, man. I ain't trying to hear that.
Yeah.
It's all good, man. We ain't trying to hear that. This man said I listen to Ray J on the hour ride. Come on now, that's out of pocket.
So who's your hour? You got to give us your hour.
Me hour, honestly, man. It depends on how I'm feeling for that hour. It could be anybody. It might be Tupac. It could be Yeet. It could be 21 Savage. It could be Kanye. who knows one album that off my head that I'm gonna listen to for an hour straight is any Saw Baby album.
Okay.
And I'm gonna get into a weird vibe, and I'm just gonna vibe out and let this, you know what I mean, let the 808s take me to my next destination.
Okay, that's a good one.
It's a random one, you know what I mean? Just a random 1 hour. I'm listening to a Saw Baby album for sure. I'm gonna catch a vibe.
Sada Baby, Detroit legend.
Not Sada Baby, Saw Baby.
Oh yeah, from Atlanta. Oh yeah, I put him on.
Barnum.
I put him on, ladies and gentlemen.
Goodness, man.
You wanna listen to the hottest new hits? Check out my playlist.
He ain't even got a playlist,
don't,
man.
but
This
I'm
is
about to make
DJ
it
Rello. This is Tay Joseph. This is my man, the Jokestar. Jokes on us. This was episode 8 of the podcast. Thank you for joining us. See you next week.